The Color of People by Scott A. Labuda. The Color of People. A man was called to heaven. He anxiously arrived at the gates of heaven and was met by two angels. The angels guided the man through the most beautiful garden he had ever seen. He was overcome by a feeling of peacefulness. The man was directed to the end of the garden. There he saw a beautiful woman. She turned and looked at the man. "Hello," he said. "I am looking for God." The woman smiled and said, "I am God. Thank you for meeting with me." God asked the man if he was surprised. "Yes, I did not realize that you would be a black woman," replied the man. The man looked at the flowers that God was tending. "They are gorgeous," he said. He returned his gaze to God and now saw a white man. He shook his head, looked again, now an Indian boy, and again a Hispanic man. A black man? An Asian girl? "I'm confused," said the man. "That is why I have asked you here," God replied. "I appear before you with a body only to help you understand my being has no body. I created the universe from the distant stars to the land, to the sea, to the trees, to the birds, and finally to you. I created them all with love. I placed them all right where they belonged. I was pleased with what I had made. Yet my greatest creation, people, seem to have lost their way. You see, I created each and every person for the purpose of loving, yet I made each unique. Like all the beautiful voices in a choir, each different, each wonderful on their own, but together magnificent. At first I created every person with the same color skin. The uniqueness in each was their personality, talents, creativity, and intellect. One of the newer angels asked me, "God, with all the spectacular colors you have put into the universe, the planets, the moons, the sunsets, the trees, and even the fish, why not color your most wonderful creation, people?" What a superb idea, I thought. With a pat on the back and a thank you to the angel, I went back to work. I began adding colors to each and every person. A little more here, a little less there. I combined the reds and the yellows and the blacks and the browns and the whites, and if you look closely, even a little turquoise and magenta. Each person was a work of art, each perfect, each beautiful, no two alike. When I had completed my work, I climbed the highest mountain to admire what I had made. As I neared the top, I heard a roaring ovation coming from the hundreds of angels who had gathered on the mountaintop before me. I joined them in their jubilation. The sight of all the people was more splendid than I had ever imagined. The colors were perfect. I was very, very pleased. I could hardly wait to place the people on the earth, each one a masterpiece of color, each one unique, yet the same in my likeness. I never thought it would be these colors that would separate my people. It breaks my heart. "But God," the man asked, "why are you telling me this? What can I do? How can I make a difference in the world?" God replied, "One person can make a difference. When one person changes, the world begins to change. Remember, it takes one drop of water to start the rain, one falling leaf to begin the autumn, and only one heart filled with love to start the change." One evening, shortly after his meeting with God, the man resigned himself upon a mountaintop. He looked at all the people on earth and realized the beauty of the mosaic that their colors created. It all made sense. A tear rolled down his cheek. He thought to himself, if only they knew, if only they knew. That night it rained. The end.